VOHC.
That's better. Welcome everybody. Today is May 20th, 2025. This is the Hannah City Village Council meeting. So everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated.
It's just because you look, there's like people are looking at every direction. Here's two flags.
No public input tonight. Denise.
Yeah, we need to
Swear in Biggie.
Eric Miller.
Please stand. Raise your right hand.
Demand a recount.
And read.
I, Eric Miller, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of trustee according to the best of my ability.
Good job, sir.
What time of year you got your
And then it was Eric.
But
Both.
I was asking if you were top vote getter.
And it's so funny
he was
because
last time.
he
Yeah, but this
got
time-
like,
Oh, he went up there.
no. Because he got like 30. You got like 30, 40 more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people aren't voting because either they don't know people or.
Oh yeah. When I first got on the board, I'd be the last of the three, the least amount of votes with Chuck Paul
7.
and some of those guys. They'd get like 38, and I'd get like 22.
Yeah.
But the last time I was the leading vote getter.
All you gotta do is stick around.
Exactly. And it's basically like, oh, I recognize that name. I'll vote for it. I don't know who that is. Not voting for it.
Everybody should have a copy of our May 6th meeting minutes.
Make a motion we accept the minutes submitted.
Second.
I have a motion by Caleb Johnson, second by Sidak. Any further comments, corrections? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Treasurer's report, Ms. Cassandra.
Nothing. Well, actually, there's stuff out of the ordinary. So there are all of the rental refund checks are on this from the people that actually paid their rental registration already, and the checks are there to be signed for me to send out tomorrow. Other than that, there's not a lot of anything out of the ordinary. Any questions for me?
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and pay all outstanding debts.
Motion by Pearson,
Second.
second by Sidak. Any further discussion, corrections? We'll roll call it. Miller?
Yeah.
Pearson?
Yes.
Chris Johnson?
Yes.
Sidak?
Yes.
Caleb Johnson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Engineering, nothing to report. Got nothing back from him on the sidewalk. Those corrections were okay.
Yeah, they did send back they had actually had a meeting and talked about the issues that IDOT was concerned with on the sidewalk. I think they've got all that resolved now, so we're waiting for their approval.
What are they concerned with?
I don't remember. It was something the way we were handling the going into Casey's.
Oh,
This week.
There and there, I think there was just some confusion about how we were going to handle it.
Attorney report, Shauna?
Good evening. We started the work on Title VI. It's not complete yet, but we're working on it. Other than that, everything's just been going along fine with the releases and the appropriations ordinance and everything.
Okay. Any questions for Shauna? Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Baylor?
All right, so this is the financial report in your packet. This is the 12th month and the final the year-end numbers. So if you look at core funds for the month of April, unadjusted, we had 124 in income, expenses of 110,843, but we had some capital expenditures in there. So if you go to the adjusted number, you can see that number drops to 99,454. We had the water hydrant that we replaced, or we are replacing, and then we had the sewer backup payments that we made, that we moved cash up to cover. So we actually made 24,682 for the month. The next then shows the breakdown of general unemployment, water, sewer, and garbage, unadjusted. And then if you flip to the next page and you take out the hydrant and the sewer backup, you can see we're positive on everything, including water and sewer. So the summary for the month is we're positive 24,683. General was positive 11,373. Income was above budget, but that was partly because of the rental registrations that had come in. Liquor licenses come in the last month of the year. We have some franchise fees that come in the last month of the year. The state income tax was strong. We had expenses were worse than budget, and that was just the board pay timing because we budgeted 1/12 and then we pay it all out twice a year. Water was 8179 positive. Income was a little bit worse than budget on water sales. Expenses were better than budget. I think we're beginning to lay on an electricity charge again. Sewer was positive. Income was a little bit worse than budget. Sewer sales were down, and expenses were better than budget. And again, I think that's timing on electricity. Garbage is basically where we thought it would be, break even. Next slide, MFT, we had income and no expenses for the month, so there's not a whole lot to report there. TIF, we had just the interest income of 113, and then we had the final payment to Jacob McCline for administrative costs, so that's what that 5842 is. BDD, we had income was a little bit down, 9572, below budget, and then we had the Jacob McCline administrative expenses. That's what that was for the month. I don't think I need to cover anything on the summary page. I've covered it all other than the TIF, the Illinois fund is a little bit better. Year to date then, you can see the unadjusted number, income of 1,604,986, so we were about $30,000 better than what we expected on the budget side. Expenses unadjusted were way worse, so we were 229,316 to the bad, but that includes capital. So if you flip to the next page and you take out the capital from the expense number, we were 394,331 to the good for the year. And then if you look at the next page, then it's the breakdown of general unemployment, water, and sewer. You can see water and sewer is where most of the capital expenditures took place, which is why they're negative. The sewer is really negative because of the lagoon loan, as dollars are in there. So if you look at the adjusted number, and I've got notes down at the bottom of what was adjusted with the asterisks, but basically that gets us to the, we were positive across the board, water, sewer, general, everything. And water is actually pretty close to covering its capital expenditures as well. So we made some good adjustments there to have each of the areas kind of carry their own cost. The summary page then, general was 191, 162 to the positive. Income was better than budget. Property, income, sales tax, fees, and permits were all good. Illinois funds was higher than we expected. Expenses were a little bit worse than budget, and that was we spent more on the code updates than we thought. Water was positive. Both income and expenses were better. Sewer was positive. Sales were slightly worse. Expenses were slightly better. And that was, again, we had some electricity that was probably coming in later. Garbage did about what we thought it would do on the budget. Full year MFT, we did a little bit better than budget. Our income was a little bit higher. Our expenses were a little bit lower. So we came in at about $5,000 negative versus $13,975 negative. That money we just pull over from streets to cover. TIF income was almost right on. It's pretty close, $349. And expenses were worse, but there's two things that are in there. One was the D&N auto body project that we did, and the other was the $26,000 of expenses for the sidewalk project, 116 sidewalk project. So those were the two things that drove that to be a little bit worse. BDD, income better than the budget. Expenses were lower than budget, and we were $32,720 to the good. Summary page, I think I already talked about the TIF projects. We didn't do anything on village redevelopment. We had budgeted, $10,000 or $12,000 in case we had a project or something we wanted to do in the village out of the BDD funds, and we didn't spend any of that money. So that's part of what drove us positive on the BDD. If you look at cash, checking, we've got $300,000. You can see both monthly and year-to-date, the variance in cash and checking is down, and that's because every chance we have, we push the money down into the Illinois funds to get as much interest income as we can get. On the savings side, you can see the effect of that. We're up on both the monthly and year-to-date variance. And then total cash is $2,257,746. And the details of the cash are on this next spreadsheet. You can see that. And the punchline is in the lower right-hand corner, all expenses in, everything all said and done. We finished the year with $219,617 more in cash than we did when we started the year. So that's the way we want to do it. Questions for me? The one thing I would say is as we started to go into these next few budget years, when we start spending more capital, that cash number at the end of the year is going to come closer to break even probably than building up each year. But that's why we build it up, is to spend it. So, yeah.
Any questions for Brian? Any comments? We'll move on to committee reports. Mr. Pearson, Finance?
Yes, sir. We've got the audit going on. So far, it's going well. Sounds like they've completed the utility budget and financial statements with no issues there. And there are two new things that they have to take into account, some stuff with the coffee can and the solar loan. But sounds like so far everything's so far so good.
Yeah, he's going to do a closeout meeting in the next couple of weeks, and then they'll come present everything in August. But he basically said what he always says is, you guys are
Looking good.
doing well.
Okay. The other item is the annual appropriations ordinance that you guys have in your packs there. The budget breakdown that we just need to approve or talk through tonight. I'm sure you all took the whole week to read through all of this.
The numbers are the same in the budget that we approved before. This is a step, the official step that we have to take. We have to put it into an appropriations format, approve it. And then, Shauna, after it's approved, do we send that to Peoria County, or where all does it go? Do you know?
Very.
Okay. Shauna, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Yes, it would have to be filed with the Peoria County Clerk.
So the numbers are all the same. They're just shown in a different format.
So what is the purpose of this? I'm so sorry.
Well,
I'm not following.
Go ahead, Cassandra.
So we pass two ordinances every year, a tax levy ordinance and an appropriations ordinance. The tax levy requests the money from the county that we want to spend, and the appropriations ordinance gives us the authority to spend the money that we have. And so we're telling the county that this is how much we think we're going to spend in each of these categories.
To be honest with you, Chris, and from an operational standpoint, in terms of how we manage our dollars, it doesn't change really anything in terms of how we develop the budget and how we manage it. It's just a I guess, a municipal requirement that we pass those two ordinances
Gotcha.
every year.
Thank you.
So I will make a motion to approve the 2025-2026 annual appropriations ordinance for the Village of Hannah City.
Second. Motion by Pearson, second by Caleb Johnson. Any further discussion, comments, concerns? Roll call. Miller,
Yeah.
Pearson,
Yes.
Chris Johnson,
Yes.
Sidak,
Yes.
Caleb Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And that is all I have, sir.
Planning and zoning, Mr. Johnson.
Nothing to report.
Sanitary sewer, Mr. Chris Johnson.
Yeah, not much going on right now. Just the solar is up and running. We had talked about this, I think, last week. Just the problem tracking data. We're working through that right now, and also working on the financial paperwork for the government programs. And that's was that for grant reimbursement, or what was?
One's for the SRECs, the tax credits, but there's paperwork has to be done both with the state and federal to get the money back, the grant money back that we've included into the financials when we built the program. Aaron, our auditors, is helping us, and he's done it before on the federal stuff, and then Jason Hawksworth is going to help us on the state stuff, but I'm just trying to get that stuff done as quickly as we can.
Perfect. Yep. And that's all I have for sanitary or sewer, and I can move on to water. I got some shut-off notices. We got 29 shut-off totaling $7,522.71. I have 0 on level pay for $0. I have 6 total shutoffs,
Foreclosures.
and the amount in foreclosures is $95.99 for an approximate gallons sold of 1,910,885. 1910885.
And the foreclosures total amount was $95.99.
Yes, sir.
Anything else underwater?
I'm so sorry. I just forgot that I did have one more update on the lagoon. So should I just include it here?
Go ahead.
Okay. So on the lagoon, we just had the communications component should be installed this week. At that point, we'll be able to see what we have and what we're producing. As was mentioned, our auditor, Aaron, is helping us with the paperwork. He's had success in the past. So that's it. And that will be end of report for me. Apologies for the back and forth.
We're going to bypass E and hold it for executive session for building the grounds, streets and alleys, anything?
Yeah, we heard from Porter Brothers. They were going to start Wednesday on the alleys, but they're delayed on Julie's, and then the weather they're going to push to Monday. So Monday they're going to start by pulverizing the alleys and then redoing all those, and then they'll do the chip seal on the alleys, and then the final 4 roads. And this will be the end of the 5-year program. So
Every public feedback on the postings that you did? No, of course.
Yeah, this will be so every road surface within the village of Hannah City will have been resurfaced in the last 5 years when this work is done.
I'm gonna check.
Heard of for this game going on.
Yeah.
Good work, guys.
Yeah, Roger deserves a lot of credit. He's one that built the 5-year plan and insisted that we start getting in it earlier so that we get other bids from other companies, which save us a good bit of money to do that. And so it's been a good job.
CDC, Mr. Sidak.
Got a little thing on here. I'm not really sure what that is.
Yeah, sorry, I just added it. Every year we have to do this TIF fact sheet and conflict of interest form, and by we I mean Cassandra. That basically says that everybody on the board is not within either the TIF district and is not eligible for the programs. And if there's anybody new, we have to update that and so forth. So Cassandra filled all that and got out. We got it back in. And then, are you going to be here on the 28th now?
Yes, they didn't find a spot for me, so I'm not going to here.
Yeah. So next Wednesday, the CEDC will be meeting and going through the grant applications to make recommendations that we'll bring to the board meeting on June 3rd, hopefully. Yep.
Administration, Mr. Miller.
(5-5) through 5-10. It was 5 calls total. 1 threatening and annoying call.
Said I'm sorry.
1 fire. My house. Citizen contact and deceptive practice and an unlawful weapon.
Bad check.
5-11 to 5-17. It was 8 calls. 5 investigation follow-ups. 1 wanted person. 2 serving papers. That's all I have.
Dodge City, Illinois.
Kind of curious what the unlawful weapon would be.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Someone had a katana.
Oh, that was quiet.
Katana. Like a samurai sword.
Those aren't illegal.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of them.
Is anybody here not going to be able to make community night?
When I just
It's 11.
Wednesday, June 11th.
That's a long ways away.
14.
He will commit right now to be there.
he'll probably be committed by
Just so you guys, what we do is we've got food. We'll have tables set up for people to sit at, just be finger food, appetizer type stuff. We have a horseshoe, and then we've got you guys all set up along the thing with your names. You'll be sitting by the staff person that you work closely with in your area. I also invited the fire department and the park district and Jacob and Klein to be there. We're not going to give away free shirts and hats to everybody this time because we didn't have the extras like we did last time. But if people ask questions or whatever, we'll use them as prizes, that kind of stuff. I think, Tony, what we can do this time is you can kind of just announce everybody and what their role is, ask if there's any general questions from the group, and if there are, we'll answer them, and if not, then they can just mill around and talk to us like we did last time. So it's pretty casual, pretty laid back.
We should rent a t-shirt cannon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just use a potato gun.
It's too small.
Catch it, Caleb.
So the way this came about is we decided to do it on election years and to go places where it was casual, where people might come and that might not be willing to ask questions other places. Last time we had about 40 people.
We had a lot of
Addition
people
to us.
sign up for, EFT for their water payments,
Yeah, we do that.
which is nice. Also lets them get, email addresses for everybody, phone numbers for everybody.
So last time it went good. We had about 30 of us and about 40 additional people that came, and we had food left over, and we ended up letting the people in the bar come over and eat and talk to those guys for a while too. And so.
And I did talk to somebody at the Sportsman's Club already.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, we'll be back to item E. I will entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion by Chris Johnson, second by Caleb Johnson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are leaving regular board meeting at 6:24 p.m. Sean, if you want to join, we have to stop the recording.
You'll have to dial back in.
Okay.